All right, so we have video instructions because you have such a cool teacher. You don't have to tell me. I know. So what we have for this asynchronous assignment is to look at textbooks. You know how I feel about textbooks. I've brought it up a number of times. I've put a number of examples. Now I'm going to have you guys take a look. Over the years, I have collected a number of textbooks just from the various schools I've worked at. They're always, when they're throwing something out and be like, hey, let me get a copy of that. You never know when it's going to come in handy. And for this, it has come in handy. So I have textbooks from 2012, very recent, done by the History Channel. Actually kind of like this one. It's okay. I have some older ones. This one is from the 1980s. This is from 1983. This might be something that your parents or grandparents used. This one is from 1982, and you can tell by the where that this is in fact the real deal. It's been around, but it was first published in 1959, which means that there's probably a lot of 1950. There's a lot of stuff in here that probably hasn't been updated, and therefore this they only changed so much before they just call it a new textbook. It's not new. It's from 1950, but updates here and there. So you get a little bit of a good spread there. And then we get into some of the older ones. This book is actually from 1959 and was used in schools. And well, how different was history before the civil rights movement was really widespread? And then my pride and joy with this book is from 1927. It was first published in 1919. So we have 100-year-old history. How much history was there in 1919 that students were learning? How much different was it? We're going to look at one specific thing, and that is how they treat Sacajawea. Sacajawea, of course, the Native American guide, who is essential to Lewis and Clark having success in their trip across Louisiana Territory all the way to the Pacific Ocean. She is absolutely indispensable. The trip does not succeed without her as a guide. As making sure they don't eat anything poisonous and not doing anything too stupid, etc. She is the only reason why it succeeds. And I want you to look through these textbooks or scans from these textbooks, all in a PDF, to go through and read about the section where Lewis and Clark is and tell me how they treat Sacajawea. Is she there? Is she given the treatment that she should be? Is she overshadowed by anything? Is there any problematic language with relations to race or sex? What things can you see? And it's like, is this problematic? And I want you to rate each textbook, and you're gonna do all that in a Google form. And at the bottom of the Google form, I have some critical thinking questions about all of these textbooks and how things progress and how things change and why this matters. So hopefully this is an assignment that you can dig into without being too overburdensome, and maybe you'll find some interesting things of what did actual students learn from the past? What did previous generations learn about this stuff? Because these are the real deal. These were in actual schools. What did they learn? Why does that matter? So fill those out. That's your asynchronous work for today.